says the Crow tribe failed to file financial reports, track expenses, and was unable to provide supporting documents for those contracts or submit a single audit for the 2016 fiscal year. Now, the contracts in question were part of a tribal transportation agreement with the Bureau of Indian Affairs. The program designed to provide engineering, construction, and maintenance for roads, bridges, and other transportation infrastructure related to tribal needs. Tribal auditors, they discovered that former financial department officials on the reservation apparently did not know how to properly manage federal contracts. MTN News Today did reach out to Chairman A.J. Not Afraid to get a response. No response yet, though. The events described in the audit report took place during the tenure of former Chairman Darren Old Coyote. A new study commissioned by the Montana Chamber of Commerce says the early closure of two of the newest Colstrip power plants will have a huge negative economic impact on the entire state. Critics of the study, though, say it ignores key information that will help offset some of those impacts. This study by the University of Montana Bureau of Business and Economic Research examined the effects if Colstrip plants 3 and 4 close in 2027. Bureau Director Patrick Barkey says it will mean the loss of 3,300 jobs across the state, ranging from coal mining jobs to plant operators to suppliers. Chamber President Webb Brown says it commissioned the study to look at the options facing the state about the closure of the Colstrip plants. The study also says the Montana electricity consumers will end up paying much higher prices because they'll have to buy power from out-of-state sources. However, a leading environmental lobby says that assumption is simply not true. Ann Hedges with the Montana Environmental Information Center in Helena says a Colstrip closure will mean negative impacts for some, but not for consumers.
You look at solar, when you look at wind energy, those are outcompeting coal in the marketplace right now. And they're pretending in this study that in 20 years, coal will be outcompeting these resources. It's not true today. Why would it be true in 20 years?
We need to be prepared. Is there an opportunity to continue the plant going longer? Can we look at other ways of adapting for the tax base, for the personal side as well, workforce training? So no time like the present. Let's get started at looking at it now.
Now, Colstrip plants 1 and 2 are slated for closure by the year 2022, but as yet no date has been set for the closure of the newer plants 3 and 4. Those plants are co-owned by 6 different companies. 2 teens who were shot Sunday evening in Missoula are now out of surgery and are expected to survive the ordeal. Missoula Police Captain Mike Collier says a firearm was found on Sentinel High School property this afternoon. It's a handgun that appears to be consistent with other evidence from the scene. Meanwhile, the search for the male suspect in this shooting continues. Authorities stress, though, there is no danger to the public. Investigators say they have been able to talk to one of the victims to help gather more information. The names of the victims have not yet been released. Here in Billings, a police pursuit last night started during a traffic violation on Central Avenue. It happened when a highway patrol vehicle and another car crashed into each other. The crash damaged the wheels of the trooper's vehicle, disabling that car. Authorities are still looking for the driver of the other vehicle, a male driver who was at the wheel of a light blue Chrysler 300. On to the weather scene now. Our chief forecaster Bob McGuire joining us. Bob, bulletin, no rain today. Yeah. It's been quite a rarity for us lately.
You know, it's hard to believe. We were very close to a record. Number of days in a row of measurable precipitation was 11. We got to 9. Let me show you what we had on those 9 days. Take a look at this. We go back to the middle of June. June 15th was when we first had that first batch of rain. I know I was out mowing my lawn when that happened. 1/1800ths of an inch is what we wound up with that day. But then I wanted to point you to the 16th. We had 7700ths. On the 18th, we had 1.14. And then on the 22nd of June, we had 7.3. And then all of it, you add it all together, it comes to 327. Now, if you take the average number of rainfall in June and July, put it together, you come up with 344. We almost made that number. It was an amazing run of rain, 9 days in a row of heavy showers and thunderstorms. Now, we're going to dry out for a few minutes. We'll talk about that coming your way also in a few more minutes.
All right. Thank you very much, Bob. In Butte, a new promoter wants to fill the gap left open by the cancellation of 2 Mining City festivals, including Evel Knievel Days. MTN's John Amy joins us now about a new festival that's now being proposed.
Though Butte is down 2 festivals this year, one local promoter refuses to have a quiet summer.
Evel Knievel Days was canceled. I postponed original festival at least for a year or so. And, you know, with kind of those two losses, a lot of people were asking questions of, you know, well, what will happen? Will anything happen?
The Wild West Music Fest is what's happening. The two-day event will be held the last weekend in July at the Copper King Hotel Ballroom, featuring music from Montana musicians as well as national recording artists like Liz Cooper and the Stampede and Rum Rebellion. Some
country music, bluegrass, funk, some Irish punk rock even. Yeah, so it kind of goes all over the place.
Organizers hope this, in a small way, will fill the void left by the canceled festivals.
The demand's there. We're already getting a great response. I mean, the bands themselves have a great following. It's just bringing it together in one place.
Local businesses in Butte rely on those summer tourism dollars. So that's why economic leaders say any new festival is welcome in the festival city.
This will be great. There'll be activity, and hopefully people from out of town will be coming and to enjoy the festival, and that the more that's going on, the better for the uptown and for all of Butte and for all of southwest Montana.
With only 4 weeks to go, organizers are still confident they can pull off this new event. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
Thank you very much, John. The festival dates for the Wild Wild West Festival are set now for July 27th and the 28th. Coming up on tonight's 5:30 News, nearly 40 years ago, Cody, Wyoming planted history inside its community to honor the Plains Indians. Coming up tonight, we'll take a look back. And in sports tonight, forget cross-stitching. Scott introduces us tonight to a pair of cross-fitting grandmothers in their 80s.
You're watching MTN News with Jay Kohn and Janelle Slade. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Green. This is the 5:30 News on Q2, Montana's news leader.